So man, it's your big brother K-Rino. Here we go again. The legendary hip hop group De La Soul has announced that they came to an agreement to get the rights back to their music catalog, which will allow them to now start streaming their albums on the digital platforms that currently exist. Um, Much to my ignorance, I had no idea that this was going on, and this had been an ongoing war that they had been having with Tommy Boy Records. Now, anybody that's old school is familiar with the record label Tommy Boy Records. Some of the most iconic hip hop records to ever come out were released on a label called Tommy Boy Records back in the 80s and the 90s. And that was the label that De La Soul was on. Now, they had been in a fight for the longest to try to get the rights to be able to release their older stuff, albums that had dropped in like the late 80s, and moving forward. But as usual, there was a bloodsucker who is the CEO of the label. His name is Tommy Silverman, hence Tommy Boy. Um, and he fought De La Soul tooth and nail to make sure that they never would reacquire the rights to their own art. This was going on around 2019. And in the year 2019, that marked the 30-year anniversary of the first album that dropped in 1989. Now, understand this. At the time that the contracts were signed by De La Soul, which consists of three members, these guys were very young, teenagers, very young. So just like any other situation where you got young guys coming in trying to make it in the music business, the bloodsuckers take advantage of that. They take advantage of our youth. They take advantage of our lack of knowledge, and a lot of times we sign bad deals. There were a lot of samples on those early albums that were not cleared, but the songs were released anyway. Samples from some pretty big hitters, and I'm sure that had to be taken care of. However, at the end of the day, this is still the lifeblood and the blood, sweat, and tears and the creativity and the original art of these three brothers that they had been in this fight for 30 plus years. Now, Tommy Silverman came along recently during the fight and offered them he proposed an offer to them to put their music on the streaming platforms, and the offer consisted of it's almost funny. The offer, it is funny, but it's disrespectful, man. The offer that he presented to them was a 90-10 split. Of course, him receiving the 90 and the three members of De La Soul receiving the 10, which they were to split, which is going to break down to like 3 and some change. This is the lack of respect that they have for us, these record labels and these so-called CEOs, these bloodsuckers, to take a group that has contributed to you being a multi-millionaire. I don't know what Tommy Silverman's net worth is, but De La Soul wasn't the only group that he had on Tommy Boy. All you got to do is do the research on Tommy Boy Records, and you'll see all of the artists and all of the hits that were releasing on that label, and you'll see that a lot of revenue has been generated. So to come along knowing that you got these guys to sign a label-friendly deal way back when they were young. And now that they are grown, mature men, they probably grandfathers at this point. And you know that the deal wasn't legit. And now they're trying to fight to reacquire the rights. You slap them in the face or attempt to slap them in the face with a deal offering a 90-10 split. That shows they never respected those brothers in the first place. And this is a common theme in the music business. This is not something that's new. This is a common theme in this industry. But Tommy Boy Records was recently bought out by a company called Reservoir Music, and they met with De La Soul and immediately came up with a deal that everybody felt was fair. I mean, instantly came up with a deal. The head, the A&R head, said that she'd been knowing the guys for years, and they came together instantly. And one of the members of De La Soul said that the music would be on the streaming platform. Everything would be finalized in like 2 weeks. So you telling me that this new company can come along and rectify this situation in 2 weeks, but this bloodsucker couldn't do it in almost 30 years? That's because he never wanted to do it in the first place. And this is why we always talk about the young people, young artists, having control of your art from the start. Don't be so desperate to sign a deal. And we've all been through that. You know, De La Soul, they're legends, man. And you don't treat legends like that. And they were taken advantage of because, you know, they were young. They were young. But this is music we all came up on. This music that we all love. But to the young artists coming up, we have to make sure that, you know, we're not so desperate for a deal that we will give away things on the front end that we will regret on the back end. Because that's exactly what's going to happen. We will regret, because we make these songs a lot of times not knowing necessarily what they're going to do or what they're going to be. See? And even if you do say, well, you know, I know this is going to blow, this is going to be a big song, they put the marketing, promotion, the budget behind it, you still have to, you really have to protect yourself in the beginning. Because I've seen songs that were dead in the water, and somebody comes along and steals it or uses the sample from an original, and I've seen people get paid. I got friends who've done that, who've been through that. So we got to protect our art, man, because an iconic group who was partly responsible for the building of your label, this is the respect that you show them. We have to be just as hard in our quest to fight for our art, man. So I'm happy for De La Soul. I hope everything works out, because now their music will be on the streaming platforms, and according to the group members, they're happy with whatever the deal. The details were not released, but whatever the deal, if they're happy with it, then I'm happy for them, man. So just an ongoing saga of the music industry and how these bloodsuckers continue to try to take care of their families for generations to come, all the while having no concern for the families of the artists who create that music and generate that revenue. It's your big brother K-Rino. Y'all leave y'all comments below. Tell me what you think about this one, and I'll see y'all when I see y'all. Peace.